Good afternoon. Welcome to class, everyone. The students are out right now for recess, so if you come on in and take a seat, we'll get started with some history, a history lesson. If you're new to the channel, if you're new to Dave Diggs History Schoolhouse Edition, or otherwise, thank you very much for coming. I hope you'll enjoy your stay here. And for everybody, it is good to see you, and I'm glad to see everybody is doing well. I want to discuss a date of some importance to our nation's history, and it's not this date. June 13th, 1850. I'm not aware of anything of historical significance that happened on that date. There probably is something somewhere, but I'm not aware of it. I'm more concerned with tomorrow, the 14th of June. 14th of June, to you folks here, you modern folks, that's Flag Day. We don't know it as Flag Day. We know it as the day back in 1777 when Congress passed legislation to create the first national United States flag, as opposed to any other kind of flag. Flag Day as a legal thing, as you know it, comes around in the Truman administration in 1949. Prior to that, June 14th, 1777, to us is the day that the flag was adopted, our national flag. And the resolution that authorized this in Congress reads as follows: Resolved, that the flag of the 13 United States be 13 stripes, alternate red and white, that the Union should be 13 stars, white, in a blue field, represented a new constellation. That's us, new constellation. Well, what before that time, if anything, was being used lawfully or not, with or without appropriate legislation, as a standard to represent the entire nation? There are many dozens, perhaps even the low hundreds of flags throughout the 13 colonies, later 13 states, one nation, that are in use. Let's examine a few of them and just see what we come up with. This is the Taunton flag, and it comes from Massachusetts. Largely, it's a regional banner, and it predates our Declaration of Independence. And it is one of the very first flags to be used to express opposition to the crown. October of 1774 is its first known use. Is this an American flag? Well, yes, of course. Is this a United States flag? No, I'm afraid not. But there are others. There are other flags. There's the Liberty Tree flag, for instance, and that's this one right here. Sometimes it has the words on it, an appeal to heaven, other times an appeal to God, other times it has no such inscription, just the tree on the flag. And this dates back to 1775, not long after George Washington was appointed to command the Continental Forces. It was being flown on ships in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia Harbor, ships that were supplying Washington's army, and it was also used to recruit new soldiers for the cause. Is this an American flag? Absolutely, no doubt here. Is it a United States flag? No, I'm afraid not. Not this one. There are others. There are the Bunker Hill flags. Flags, yes, because the National Park Service has already studied this. I have been to their source of information. And there are several contenders for what may have been flying at Bunker Hill. And here's a little piece of trivia for you. There never ever was a battle of Bunker Hill. It was a mapmaker's error that called it Bunker Hill, but the hill that the battle was fought on was Breed's Hill. But it has come down to us in legend and lore, it's Bunker Hill, which sounds better than Breed's Hill anyway. Now here are two examples of what the National Park Service thinks may have been flown at the Battle of Bunker Hill. Red field, white canton, sometimes called a field also, and a green tree in the center of the white field. This can also, examination, be blue, like this. And it may or may not have a George cross, that's the red cross here, called a George cross, and a pine tree in the corner, or it might not have a pine tree in the corner. There's a good deal of speculation about what was actually there. But not to worry, there are others. There are plenty of others. We still have a few to go. And the next one is the Grand Union flag. Grand Union flag is this here. Its first known use, it is a big one, isn't it? Ow. I know you can't see me, and perhaps that's for the better. But this is known as Grand Union, sometimes called Great Union. And supposedly it's an attempt to not make an entirely clean break with Great Britain, sort of show we are displeased with you, maybe we can get back together again someday, hence the Union Jack in the upper corner. It was first flown in 1775, again in Philadelphia Harbor on board the United States naval ship Alfred. And its use was fairly common at the time, and some people have said that its use is so common that it is actually, even though there's no law that says this, actually this is the first national flag. And there are others that say, no, it wasn't. You can pick your flag. Lots of debate, lots of debate. The first true United States flag came about as a part of the resolution that we've already read, and it looked something like this. You may know it as the Betsy Ross flag. It's a national color. Is this American flag? Yes. Is this United States flag? Yes. It's one of several. The problem is the ambiguity in the resolution. It specifies stripes, yes. Red and white, yes. 13, yes. Which stripe comes first? Are they horizontal? Are they vertical? Is it a white stripe you lead with? A red stripe you lead? It doesn't say. Are the stars 4 point, 5 point, 6 point, 7 point, 8 point, 9? It didn't say. But there are examples of those flags. For instance, whereas the so-called Betsy Ross flag has 5 stars arranged in a circle, there are others that have 4-5-4 arrangement, 4-5-4, and they're all 5-pointed. There are also 3-2-3-2-3 arrangement, 4-point. There's 3-2-3-2-3, 6-point. And a circle with one in the center surrounded by 12 others. And they are a combination of 7 and 8 points. And all of this is legal because the legislation just does not specify. There's also another flag, another national flag. It has 4 here in the blue field, 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4 other stars here, and then a 1 straight in the center for a total of 13. Is this an American flag? Well, yes. Is it a United States flag? It's one of several, and the answer is yes. All of these, every single one of them that I've mentioned, and others, there are actually quite a number of others, they all meet the letter of the law. And what else do we have here? What about the relationship of the canton, sometimes called field, to the rest of the flag? There is a ratio in place, but what is it? I've seen one flag, a representation of one flag, where the field went straight from top to bottom with a mixture of stars that looked like they were just thrown in there shotgun-like. Is that legal? Yes, absolutely. Not a problem there. The cantons, fields have a certain, well, I should use Betsy Ross's flag for this. How far down should it go? Starting at the top, should it go down to the 5th stripe, 6th stripe, 7th stripe? Well, there are examples. You can tell this one goes down only so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It goes down to the 8th one, then it stops. Other examples show goes down to the 5th stripe, which is white. Other examples, they go down to the 5th stripe, which is red. There's also the 7th stripe red, the 8th stripe white, and so on. Since it doesn't mention anything about this in the original legislation, it's all legal. So, now what? We have the flag, it's in place, very many variations. The war is over. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 gave us our independence from the mother country. It also gave us all the land that Britain had from the Appalachians straight through to the Mississippi River. Good chunk of territory. And someday it's all going to become states. What happens to the flag when that happens? What does the original resolution? It doesn't. It just doesn't. But here's what did happen. New states were added. Vermont, 1791, Kentucky, 1792, and neither one got a star. No stars. Because there's no mechanism, no provision for that. But both states wanted a star. But they couldn't have one because the law didn't allow for it. So what happened was a new law, the Flag Law of 1794. It was changed. Our flag from now on is not going to be 13 stars, 13 stripes. It's going to be 15 stars and 15 stripes. This is a copy, a small version, of a star-spangled banner that flew over Fort McHenry during the War of 1812. This here, 15 stars, 15 stripes, and if you look closely, some of the stars are pointing in different directions. That's legal for the time. The original Star-Spangled Banner is this one right here. Well, all right, so Vermont and Kentucky get admitted. They get their own stars. In 1803, we took possession of the Louisiana Purchase. And from that big hunk of land, there's going to be eventually carved 30 states and parts of states eventually. Well, now what? Can you imagine a flag with 30 stars and 30 stripes? That is just unworkable. It'll never fly. So, there was another flag law. From 1794, from that flag law, to 1818, which is the next flag law, there were 6 more states that joined the Union. Tennessee, 1796. Ohio, 1803. Louisiana, 1812. Indiana, 1816. And Mississippi, 1817. And none of them got stars or stripes. The law did not allow for anything past 15. So in 1818, the law was changed again. The law said, we're going to take the flag. I'll use this one as an example. And we're just going to return the stars to what they might have been, and these stripes to 13. There will only be 13 stripes. And the stars, well, returning them to what they used to be wouldn't work because it ignores the new states admitted since the 13 original ones. So everybody gets a star. We can always make stars bigger, smaller, arrange them in certain ways so they all fit. So that will be the new flag from now on. And then the next state to come into the Union under these new laws and get a star is going to be Illinois. And Illinois was 1818, same year as the flag law. They didn't get a star until 1819 because there's another provision in that 1818 law that says when you get the star, it's on the 4th of July after admission to the Union. And Illinois was admitted in December, so they missed out on the July 4th deadline. The next July 4th will be 1819. That's when they get their star. It will be the 20th. And all the flags thereafter until 1912, 94 more years, will be governed by the 1818 flag law. And we're going to have an awful lot of states coming into the mix between 1818 and 1912. What happens in 1912? Finally, Congress gets around to doing something, and really it's President Taft, who was president at the time, 1912, who reconfigured the whole flag law thing. There's going to be stars. They will be white. They will be 5-point. All the points will point up. There will be 13 stripes, alternating red and white, ending in red. There will be a certain ratio of the, I'll use the Betsy Ross flag for this. There's a certain ratio between the hoist, this is called the hoist, and the fly, this is called the fly. Before that, you could have this as big as anything you like. It can stretch, as I mentioned earlier, from top to bottom. It's one on the hoist to 1.9 on the fly. That's the ratio. It's the ratio here. And it's also the ratio on the flag that came out of the 1912 legislation. This one checks all the boxes for the appropriate flag of the period, conforming to the 1912 regulations. It's a 48-star flag, and this 48-star flag will stay around for quite some time. Everything's in perfect proportion according to the law. See the stars? All 5-point, all pointed up, and the ratio of the hoist to the fly is 1 to 1.9. It has remained that way ever since. And until the next state, which is Alaska, the 48th state, is admitted, followed not too far behind by Hawaii as the 50th state. The number of stars would have to be changed, the star pattern would have to be changed, and that's all up to Eisenhower, President Eisenhower. He's the one who approved the decision as to what star pattern should be on the 49 star flag and also the 50th star flag. It's all up to him. Now, having done that, what does the future hold? Well, what does the future hold? I suppose we'll know when it gets here. But it's not here yet. Might be a while. Might not. We don't know. I'll put these away properly. But until the future gets here, I'm still in the past. Thank you for coming. I hope you've learned a little something about the flags that we have been discussing. Until the next time our paths cross or our flags fly, I have the honor to remain your most respectful and obedient servant, Dave Diggs. Oh, too much German potato salad. But boy, was it good. This is Dave Diggs coming to you from a long time ago. Thank you very much. Safe trip back home. We'll see you next time.